But what do you think will take Kenya to the next level in terms of, advanced education and, of course, meeting the Millennium Development Goals surrounding education, poverty, etc.?
Well, first of all, this is a very timely meeting because we are now able to discuss concretely issues that may delay the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals, and particularly in Sub-Saharan Africa and some of the Southeast Asia countries. We've gone through a catalogue of events that we think are impediments. We've also examined the worsening situations, climate change, and the hunger and drought that has ravaged most of the continent, and therefore the food prices and security create a major impediment towards the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals. Our GDP will be affected because of these factors that we have already cited above. Nonetheless, in Kenya we have made very steady progress. We started this program in 2003. The total enrollment in our primary schools was 5.9 million. Today, as I talk to you, we're about 9.36 million children in our primary school, an increase of about 59%. Looking at the secondary education, which was a latecomer in the program in 2008, we started with a total enrollment of 1.38 million children. Now we are at the level of 1.7 million children. Again, a very dramatic increase. So both in terms of access, we think we're well within our purview, and in terms of retention, that's the area that we're looking at the challenges that meet the program that we need to clear, more so as it relates to the girl child. We've recently voted a fairly comfortable budget for sanitary pads for our child in order to be able to retain them in schools, and we believe that will be one of the incentives for retention in schools. We have also looked at the provision of homegrown programs, school feeding programs. As you realize, a very large sector of our country is under the ASAL region. And we have an influx of refugees also from our neighboring countries. Therefore, we have an obligation as a country to be able to meet the educational needs of these children under these very difficult and harsh circumstances. And that, without additional resources in terms of capitation, that may be an impediment, a financial impediment in terms of reaching out to these vulnerable groups. And I hope that this high segment meeting will also be able to look at these extra budgetary areas of allocation so that they can support these emerging issues, which were not factored in when the Millennium Development Goals were being developed. Therefore, it's a factor that needs to be considered. Of course, health and sanitation cannot be taken without the element of education. You need education, they are complementary to one another, and therefore you need to have both of those on board. The other area of challenge I've already seen is the dwindling resource flow from the development partners. The ODA support, although today I saw the European Union making a case of having increased the ODA assistance to close to 0.43%. We still think that they could be able to give more. But understandably, the economic crunch is creating a lot of havoc, and particularly the fragile economies of Africa.